I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Accomando,
Present.
Mr. Buffi, Mr. Girick, Mr. Nagito,
Present.
Mr. Quinn, Ms. Sanchez, Mrs. Campiaco,
Present.
Mr. Singh,
Present.
Mrs. Zattarelli.
Present. Please rise to the pledge.
Wow, I just need a full meeting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. I'm going to turn our meeting over to our superintendent, but first I'd like to introduce our superintendent, Mr. Tony Anthony Rashika. This is his first meeting, and I'd like to welcome him.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm happy to be at my first meeting, and we can move ahead. That's the goal here. We're going to move ahead. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go over my report, and the first thing we have is a novice teacher induction protocol. So basically, whenever we hire new staff members, they're going to be monitored and go through a whole program. This is an updated program. It certainly isn't something brand new, but there have been some modifications, and it really deals with professional learning components for mentors, so that the mentors are trained in what to do with their staff members that they're going to be helping. And it starts off with the new teacher orientation, which will start here on August 30th and 31st. So that's the kickoff for the plan, and then they move ahead, and there's different requirements within the plan for teachers, new teachers, that they have to do. Some of these things take place after school, some of them are during the school day. I'd be happy to share a copy with anyone who would like to see one, but that's basically what that novice teacher instructional program is all about. The district guidance report, I was happy to read through this, and I also met with Ms. Susan Madison to look over some of the key components of this. What I was happy to see is that just over this past year, a couple of new things have taken place with the guidance team, looking at the different types of services and programs that they provided at night for parents to participate in with students. They're actually working on the junior plan so that they get an opportunity to sit down with juniors and their parents to make sure that they're on target for moving in the direction that they will want to be. You know, it's never too soon to get that idea. You can certainly start it in ninth grade, which is a good idea, but you know, you may get a ninth grade student coming in at 14 who wants to be a neurosurgeon and then realizes at the end of freshman year that not really doing very well in math and science, so maybe we might have to change the course a little bit. Now, you know, current students in colleges these days change majors a number of times. So certainly for a high school student to not really be focused at this point is fine. The thing is that when you're in your junior year, you should have some kind of an idea, at least where you think you would like to go, what direction you want to be in, so that you're choosing a school and interviewing at schools that are going to fit your needs for where you want to be. So that's important. But again, a lot of great programs that are going on. I'm happy to see that we have one of our guidance counselors is dedicated to the middle school level. We have 3 working at the high school level, and this, I believe, is the first year where we had 1 guidance counselor at the elementary school. So there's a lot of good things. We spoke about the expanding the instant decision day to try to get some more colleges in for students in December. That usually happens in December. If you're not familiar with that, there will be a number of schools that actually come to Saddlebrook and spend time interviewing students during the course of the day and making the decision right there. That's why they call it instant decision day. And many times it's not just a decision to accept, but it also has a scholarship that's attached to the offer. So that's a great thing. And I was happy to see also that the number of students, let me just see if I can find it here quickly. So out of a class, I'm going to look at the graduating class of 2016, 121 graduating seniors. Of that, we had $311,725 in scholarships for those students. 58 students from the class are planning to attend a 4-year college. 44 are planning to attend a 2-year college. 6 students are enrolled in trade tech school, and 5 students have enrolled in military and 7 are entering the workforce directly from graduating. So it's good to see that, the great majority of students are going on to post-secondary education, and that we have those students who aren't at least are looking for some type of employment. Maybe it's going into a family business, I don't know. We can find that out, but if it's a family business or something that they're really interested in doing some kind of a job shadow type of thing for a few years and moving into a different type of career. It could be, I know a lot of electricians who started out that way, shadowing somebody, and then were able to get into the union eventually, and so on and so forth. So there are some good things happening there. I'm very happy to see that, and we're going to expand upon those. Administrative retreat. I have one of those on Wednesday. So with just a few days in district, I'm learning very quickly of all the types of programs we run here and what's going on. But I'm looking forward to this. The topics, I'll share those with you. If you're not familiar, the tool for observations in Saddlebrook is Danielson model. And for each model that you use, each one of them also has their own technology package that you have to use for that to input the information. So it's Danielson. We were using Teachscape. Teachscape, I think, was brought over by My Learning Plan, so now everybody has to be trained in using the new technology for that. And then we also want to focus in on the evaluation tool so that we have everybody looking at observations, looking at teachers the same way. So we're going to continue to work on that. From that, we're going to work on to affirmative action to keep everybody in tune to what the laws are. And also HIB, that's one of the areas that I'm very concerned about. Lots of school districts have lots of inconsistencies with HIB. So we want to try to get that as tight as possible. Best place to start is with the administration. So we're going to be doing that. Looking at a DEAC committee, which is part of the evaluation system, the committee within the district that actually looks at what the administrators are going to be doing. It's an agreement between everybody who works here as educators and the administration for us to work together and make sure that no one's trying to design their own program along the way. So the DEAC committee is something we want to focus on as well. I heard that was kind of dormant for a little while. It just wasn't happening as much as it should. And I would like to see that committee get together at least twice a year to make sure that we're in a good place. We're also going to work on the district goals. We will share those. The administrative goals are part of that workshop. ASOP is that's part of our sources for teachers. Is that what we use for our substitute program? Source for teachers. And so we're going to train staff with the technology used for that too. And also the Genesis student management system. That's the information where attendance and grades and everything else is put into. Those of you as parents who use Parents Portal, that's where that information is part of Genesis as well. And I'm happy to announce that the school website is going to be run by School Wires. Certainly we're going to be in-house. We'll still be doing the designing and coming up with the ideas, but the overall watchdog or the overall designer will be School Wires. And there's some other components to that, so we're sharing that as well. And we're also looking at the use of more Google and using shared calendars and really making that part of the culture within the school so that everybody's working on the same thing. And as far as looking at a calendar, so what's going on at Franklin School, what's going on in Smith School, is there a conflict? Okay, because we can't, it's not good to have too many things going on at the same time. So we want to make sure that that's in place. And then last but not least, we will spend time looking for the September faculty meeting on the information that we want all teachers to know right from the get-go, starting off on the same page, so that it's not, one school finds out about something in September and the other school doesn't find out through November, and that's not a good direction to go in. So any questions on any of this? I think we covered it all. Yep, professional development plan. No, I didn't have one more thing. On the professional development plan, we have to have committees get together to identify the areas where we think we need to work together to help our students. Just highlighted a few of the things that are going on. We're going through training in areas specified by state statute and also by the federal government. So if you're looking at, again, HIB, suicide prevention, those are things we have to do, so that's always included. But moving beyond that, we're going to have teacher and administration training in the evaluation tool. More importantly, we're going to be looking at the Readers and Writers Workshop to bring into K-6 language arts language arts classes and continue on that path. For those of you who are not aware of that, that program is based out of Columbia's Teachers College. It's a very effective program for reading and writing, and I'm happy that we're part of that, really am part of that. So we're going to continue working in that direction, improve the math instruction with data-driven, that's a tongue twister, information. Okay, so we'll have that going on. District-wide, again, with the Google initiatives, which is very important. And subject area specialist will begin to integrate PARCC-like testing questions and environment so that students are thinking the same way all the time. When I say the same way, not necessarily the same thought process, but just the idea of when you look at something in an analytical way, it's similar to how you're going to look, what the information is. What's the information that you're going to take away from this? And when you answer the question, where are you going to look? So it's that format of knowing the depth of the question, where you're going to get it from, and identify where you get it from. See, in the past, students would answer a question, and the answer would be, well, because it says it there in chapter 2. All right, but now it really has to be part of the full context of whatever it is that they're reading. So they have to understand why, where, and how. So you have to look at that. So that's an in-depth reading, looking at that. So lots of programs that will be taking place. I believe we start with we will have some professional development as early as September 26th, I think, which is a Monday. So all these and many more pieces are on here. So we look forward to that. So it's going to be a busy start to the school year. I'm happy about that. And for me, I'm just going to spend the next couple of days and weeks catching up so that I'm in a good place with everybody else. And I think I got off to a good start with that. I did visit every one of the schools on Wednesday. Mr. Karate was kind enough to chauffeur me around, and we went in to see what was happening in the buildings and, whatever the construction work is going on, how the classrooms are looking. So there's lots of work going on, lots that's going to be completed, and of course, there's always those few things that will catch up. Right, Mr. Karate? Yes, we'll catch up on that. So we'll get that going. All right, so that's, the superintendent's report. If I shift over now to the agenda, looking at the items that we'll vote on at our board meeting on Wednesday. If you want to take a moment to look through numbers 1 through 5 in this area, if there's any questions, there's certainly on the second page a whole list of different programs and schools that we'll be working with.
Through the chair, I have a question on number 5. Mm-hmm. These are not new assignments, correct? Are these just kind of because we have to?
Right, these are not just brand new. A lot of these are ongoing.
Okay.
Okay. There might be a couple that are brand new, but basically
Right. Okay.
it's continued services. Yes.
Any other discussion?
Good? Okay, so let's look through number 6 here is by itself. Again, this is providers coming in and helping, a lot to do with special education, different programs to aid students, and sending students out to other programs as well.
Any discussion?
Okay. Moving on to B, Curriculum Instruction and Technology Program, just on numbers 1 and 2. As you know, there is a considerable amount of curriculum writing going on that's reflected here. We're trying to make sure that we have everything that meets the state requirements and move ahead from there.
Through the chair, on number 2.
Yeah, let's just
Last year, there was discussion back in June. I guess the amount of trips that the district was going out on, and we felt we really
We're not there
needed.
yet, Pam.
No, on number 2?
2
We're
is
under curriculum and instruction.
2 is a approved job description on that curriculum.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, letter B.
I'm a page ahead.
B2.
She had me confused.
Okay.
It's like bingo. B2. But I do want to talk about B2 quickly, and it's that we have 2 schools that are have been identified as Title I schools in the district. I believe it's Franklin and Smith. And with that being there, we would like to start an extended school day program. I've been working with Ms. Jenkins, as I came in, I sat with her for quite a bit to get a good understanding of what's been going on for the last month or so. But we are going to design a program to work with the students who are having some difficulties. And this will be, what we're looking at is I'd like to personally set up a program so it's available after school and before school, so that we have parents being, they're the ones who have to bring the children to school or pick them up. So I want them to have a choice as if it's going to be someplace I want to drop my child off to earlier in the day, or if it's going to be someplace where indeed the parent or someone else will be able to pick the student up at the end of the day. So I think that the choice is healthy. It would get more students, I believe, involved in the program, and we're trying to reach the students. But again, we have to take into consideration that the parents are the ones that get them there and pick them up. So we're still designing that. But we're looking at the job descriptions. There will be one person who oversees the entire program, the coordinator, and then the rest of it be the teaching staff, which is pretty much the same thing, because the coordinator will teach as well, but it will be the one who works with myself and the building principals on the schedules, get some input from parents. Ideally, we would like to see this begin in October, so hopefully we can get it to go somewhere between the 1st and 15th of October to start rolling and run it into maybe 2 different sessions, maybe 3, depending on the needs, of approximately 6 weeks for each one of the sections, and for language arts and mathematics.
Through the chair, is this someone that would be within the district?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We want to keep it within the district because you know what the curriculum is here, so you want to take that curriculum and make sure that the kids are getting a solid base and moving ahead from there. Okay? Thank you. You're welcome.
Any other discussion?
Okay, business and board, 1 through 5. This is all the PD, travel expenses and so on and so forth.
Okay, through the chair. So on number 2, so there was a lot of discussion the ending of last year regarding field trips. There are a lot of them. I don't know what the dates are of these right here. I mean, you could see though the Latin Club. I mean, Sky Zone, Cape Pasta, Hoboken.
I would think, from my past experience, many of these coming out of world language, most of them take place after school. So there's still trips I will look into,
Can we table this until further discussion?
Yep. And I can reach out to Mr. Wall.
And I think we were kind of gonna review some of our policies as well as regarding field trips and overnight trips. So, hopefully this week, maybe we could set a policy meeting up.
Sure. We're going to need one, and I'll talk about
Yeah.
that. Okay.
And then that would go
Right.
for number 6 and 7 on page 5. Those are 2 overnight trips. And those aren't until March, so we have plenty of
Oh, yeah, we have
time.
time for those, yeah. My only concern is on number 2, if it's anything that's coming up quickly. I don't know if we have something that's going out probably.
Well, when they request them, do they give the dates?
Yeah,
Or they
it's
just
probably
give
on-
the year?
There should be, dates are probably supplied somewhere. I'm not familiar with those forms yet, and I can certainly.
No, but Ray, do they request through you? Like how does it,
Yeah, through the superintendent's office, through the principal, superintendent's office.
Yeah.
There'll be dates on those, I don't know if we have the forms here.
for when they're actually
So-
going?
Right, so it's maybe a couple of these, like, well, the summer camp one, the happy district. I don't know if there's anything else come up in the first week or so.
I mean, 9/11 ceremony for the, for the marching
So
bands.
there could be a couple of, Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesday we could hold up for after September's meeting, we could hold up.
What I'll do is tomorrow and Wednesday, I can get some information on any of these that are going to be within the first couple weeks of the school year, so that we
Okay.
can review that at least on Wednesday.
Okay.
Try to get that done. Because the September things will come up real quick. And then we don't have a board meeting until September sometime. So.
When is our
14th?
September
Yes,
14th?
it was the 14th. But, the one here, they have this first grade going to Sun High Orchards, sorry. So I don't know, that sounds like a September, October trip to me.
Sounds like it's pumpkin picking.
So, yeah, something,
Yeah.
or apples or something like that. But, but the other one here, I see that there's one listed for summer camp. So I don't know if this might have.
He's saying that
happened or-
possibly could have happened
Yeah.
already.
Cross country, Six Flags. Okay, but I'll go through it and see what we come up with for Wednesday, okay?
Thank you.
No problem. Fine.
All right.
Okay.
Any other discussion
other-
on 5?
Everybody's good on 1 through 5? Moving to 6 through 10, I just want to point out that if you look at number 9, NCLB 17 grant awards and approval submission, so on and so forth. If you look at Title I, Part A, that's based on our needs for, and that's at $246,000 plus. The money to run those programs at both Franklin and Smith that I was talking about come out of those funds. That's under Title I. Okay, so that's all under Title I. The Title II would be for looking at professional development and other things that happen within the district. So those are the two big ones.
Now, we're tabling 6 and 7 as well, correct, under here?
Mm-hmm. 2, 6, 7.
Any other discussion?
Okay, moving right along. We can go from 11 through 17.
Through the chair, on number 14, I'm not quite sure how long we've been doing this. The Valley Health System to provide Hep B vaccines and drug and alcohol testing. Would that drug and alcohol be testing for students or staff?
Students.
That's for students.
This one's just for staff. but-
Oh, this one is? I'm
Just
sorry.
for staff.
Thank you.
So this is all just for staff? Okay, I'm just curious about the hepatitis B vaccine, why we're not keeping that in-house. I mean, on exhibit, they're saying that it's $225 because it's a 3-series vaccine. Do we know how much are we spending on this? Is this only new hires, or, I'm just wondering why we're not keeping it.
Staff, we haven't had that many, we haven't done it in-house.
Well, they could defer it also.
County of Bergen. This is through our insurance group that we belong to, or many districts belong to the Valley Health System, and the contracting.
So our district is paying for this? Or our insurance
District
company?
will pay for any teachers choose to get the series of vaccines.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering why not keep it in-house? We have a doctor on staff that could write the order and have one of our nurses administer it. So it's just a thought. I mean, $225 could add up.
Well, we could look into that. I'm not sure the number of people that
Yeah,
actually.
we haven't had that number over the years.
Right.
Through the chair, I'm sorry, I know a lot of like nurses, custodial bus drivers, they defer it. Like they'll say, oh, I won't get it, or I'll go through my home provider. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't know how much we're spending on this.
Well,
Just-
we could look into it, we could talk to the nurses again, I would just say, I mean, please to get this up and running for September, we're not contracted, we have
Right.
to go through that, there's only
Okay.
consent that it is, so we can always just start doing this now.
Right, okay.
So,
I mean, it would definitely probably be more convenient for our staff too, to just visit their local, school nurse. It was just a thought.
You know, so we can start it up and we can discuss it with the nurses if we feel we something to do.
Okay.
On number 17, are we bringing Visions back into middle school? I thought we just had it in high school. I thought we eliminated it at Smith and middle school. Now, are we bringing it back, or was I
They
wrong?
call it the middle school program, no, it's the same program.
Okay.
It's nothing new, we're just getting there, it's not.
So there's a Visions, they're still
So
in
one
Smith,
classroom, no.
No.
Smith is no longer.
is no longer,
Right, middle school.
just the middle school.
I thought it was high school. Is it all one and the same?
Yeah, it's one classroom.
Okay.
It's the same high school.
Okay.
It's their age range.
Then if we look at 18, these are district goals. Certainly, you've worked on these. I just wanted you to take a look at them separately, see if there's anything. I think at this point, you spent a considerable amount of time going over the goals. I'm sure you worked with school boards and did your due diligence. So but I don't know if there's anything that you want me to know specifically. It can be discussed here. If it comes up at a later date, please reach out to me. But I believe, I have not heard anything formal from school boards, but I'm going to assume that there is no action plan in place for these goals at this time. So what I will do is reach out to school boards and get their schematic for designing the action plans to carry these through. All right, and then I will share that information with you. Sounds good. Okay?
Yep.
So we know who's doing what and when and what the objectives and the timeframes and so on that are expected. Any other questions in regards to the goals?
Under board goals, A, successfully complete a search within the superintendent of schools. Nothing personal.
Did you just do that?
We changed the dates on our search company interviews to do interviews for a super. Did we get a new date? Okay. Can we get a new date?
Yeah, we have 5 board members here tonight, and we want to try to get a date tonight to
Okay.
Okay. So just for my sake, I'm assuming there has not been a decision made on who you would like to use for this search?
We haven't even finished interviewing.
Okay, so 4 different
consultant firms we
firms.
interviewed too.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so then moving on from 19 on. 21.
Any discussion?
Okay, and so we move on to committee reports. Is there, I'm not really sure which committees.
We had a building and grounds meeting.
I mean, if you want, I could highlight, I know
Steve's
Mr. Quinn's
not
not
here,
here, he's
so-
not gonna
and I
be here
wasn't there.
Wednesday, but I could just highlight a couple of the items.
Okay, please.
We went through all the projects that are currently going on in the district. I'll highlight a few of the larger ones. The few with the referendum or second-year referendum. Security cameras are all being installed and progressing very well. We should have them up and running for the beginning of school. Moratorium, they've been working on it. It probably won't be ready for staff coming back to have our big welcome back, but it'll be close to getting done, but we expect that into September to have their certificate of occupancy and get that one. It's looking really nice. So long school windows, we've been going back and forth with the window company. They're blaming the window manufacturer for, which I can't believe, months and months of fabricating the windows. The architect, he says the same thing. So they're looking to, try to get either started by schools, beginning of school, or shortly thereafter, and they'll work on getting that done. Well, the only good part about this, we worked with this company the last couple of years, and they are good installers. That's and we're looking into 2 other projects with a referendum to upgrade our communication system within all the schools, so the message can be heard in every room, bathroom, and large group area. And also looking to possibly replace, there's many classroom doors that are, they stick, they don't shut properly, to get them changed, because with our budget, we only can, if we're lucky to afford to maybe do 5 or 6 a year, and there's about 90 to do. So that's the referendum. Other projects, our track was one of the items in our capital budget, and that's moving very well. They should be done putting down the top plane of the track and looking to line it possibly next week. The faculty bathrooms at Smith are near completion, and the boiler's about 3/4 of the way in. So all that stuff is moving quite well. We're going to set up a meeting with our energy audit to look at possibly an energy savings company to move us forward in that project. We spoke about Smith School. The PTO purchased the digital sign, and that was installed, and it looks very nice. We continue to work on lead in the drinking water. We had some more fountains retested, and we're just working down the process. Removing the fountain, testing the next set of line. The only thing is that it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get results back. So it's just a process. We will not put any found back online unless we have it cleared.
Through the chair, will students be permitted to bring water bottles with them since the fountains may not be up and running?
There's really no areas. I think maybe one at Smith in the one hallway, but all their schools are fine for a fountain in all the hallways. So
Oh, okay.
there's enough in the area. Just I think one at Smith School.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk to the principals and get where we have to get in place, to do there.
Hydration is important.
Yes, especially, I'm sure we're gonna be in for some hot days in September.
That was the open meeting. That was August 11th.
I just want to, if you don't mind, I just want to go backwards to 1 second, because I really want to share with you the assessments for the HIB for each one of the schools, the grades. I'll just give you the scores, because we're going to have to vote on this, and it goes to the state. Out of a possible 78, that's the highest score you can get, and the schools are urged or guided to really be critical of what you're doing. So in general, what happens is, you might think you're going to score 5 points, but you're making yourself a 3 or 4, because you think of things when you're sitting down to reflect on this, that you think about that, I could have done this, or I could move in this direction. So with that in mind, starting with Franklin School, out of the possible 78, their total score they came up with was a 67, which is fine. Always room for improvement. Going on to, I believe this is Smith School. Helen Smith School, yes, came up with a total of 70 out of 78. And there are many components to all of this. The next school here is Long School. Long has a score of 67 out of 78.
I'm sorry?
Long School, 67
67.
out of 78. And moving to the middle high school, 75 out of 78. And Washington School, 63 out of 78. So I want to find out what's going on there.
Are these schools evaluations internal, external?
These are internal, based from your school safety committee. School safety team sit down and look at all the different categories. And each area, for instance, there'll be indicators. The school annually established a HIP program. So it could be anything from assembly programs that you run for students to the amount of training that the staff is getting, how many times they receive training, and so forth. So any of these can range from anywhere from 3 points, 4 points, whatever the case may be. So it's quite intense. The indicators are all, each area has 4 or 5 indicators within the main area. So, and that's where you get your scores from. But it is the school safety team that looks this over and within the schools, and so it is all internal. But again, that's why they're really, they urge you to be critical of yourself. It really is, it's healthy.
So can you just explain the scores? So are these bad scores? Are they?
I would say that anything over like between 60 and 65 is, you're okay, all right? Certainly room for improvement, but below 60, you're in trouble.
Oh, okay.
So, you really need to do some major overhaul.
I have a question.
So we're at that, the lowest one I think we had was 63, the other was 67, 68.
Through the chair, earlier you said there was quite a bit of HIB inconsistencies throughout the district.
Yeah, well,
And my,
not just our district, many districts.
No,
I don't want
absolutely.
to- yeah, but so what I'd like to see is, when I talk about inconsistencies, one of the things is that the format of the actual reporting process sometimes takes a different spin at one school than it would at another school. The actual forms, I would like all the forms to be the same for every school. That's one of the things. My past experience, I worked with a company called MyK12, which is data input. You put the information in there and it helps guide you through all the indicators. Again, looking at what category this would fall into, if indeed it is HIB, or if it's not HIB, where would it fall then? Just students acting badly? Is it part of the disciplinary code? So on and so forth. So those are the inconsistencies. What somebody might look at as, a hib, oh, this is terrible, is kids doing things that are not appropriate, and it's a disciplinary piece. It really is disciplinary. Did it meet any of the characteristics, that are identified that you can tag this onto? And if not, then it's not a hib. Okay, so really,
I like the idea what you're saying with a program where you could put everything in and let you know, right, I'm sure a red flag will come up, say this is HIV.
well, right, it keeps us, and,
So
that,
if
and that's the
using
thing,
someone- yeah.
you're all, you're all looking at things a little bit differently. You hear a story from one, so you can interview, anywhere from 3 students and a staff member to 20 people, and still come away with 2 different pictures, so it's subjective to a certain extent. But, so if we can get something to try to help us with that, and just the timing seems to be okay on anything I looked at, but, so far. But certainly we need to look at it. And that's why I really requested that at Wednesday's meeting, we do have an update on some of the information for him, so that, at least the administrators are brought up to date, and then we can share it with the staff members as well. Okay? All right. Okay, sorry, but that was, just wanted to get back into that. That's important. Okay.
Just one item, I want to go back to number 15. I was going to speak about it during the committee report. That is just, so for your knowledge, that's just another, like a co-op to belong to, although this one's a shared service agreement through Sterling High School, which is in southern Jersey. Last year, we joined up Hunterton Co-op. If you look at number 16, this is the Middlesex Regional Educational Service Committee Co-op. We belong to Educational Data. We belong to different co-ops. Bergen County was another one. We just put a lawn tractor through there. It gives us an avenue to comply with the bidding laws, but gets us, the equipment we want and the services, like communication, like I said, for the schools, it's hard to get vendors that are approved. I have to go out to bid for it, and you can get, anybody to do it. This is a company, you go through South Jersey Technology Partnership, and they have a company who we've dealt with before that we could purchase the services through them and comply with our bidding threshold. So again, it doesn't commit us to anything. It just signs up, they agree, we have an agreement with them. If we choose to go get any services through them, it's just a good avenue to reach out to.
Also, on number 20, just in case you're not aware of it, because I don't know where Ms. Jenkins left off, because I believe you had a comprehensive equity plan that was submitted. And many of the plans were approved by the county, and then they came back to us. It came back to just about everybody because of the fact that some of the policies that are embedded within the comprehensive equity plan, the Strauss-Esme, and even school boards at the very beginning, were not up to date. So what you have to do now is we redid the plan stating that we need to identify these policies, which we have through Strauss-Esme. That's the company we use for policies. And therefore, what's going to happen is going back to the state. We know, to make them aware that we know what we need to do. And again, I had this in my former district as well. It's something that came about probably in April or May. And currently, we do, as I said, have it identified. So we're going to have to sit down. That's why I said we're going to have a policy meeting. Because we're going to have to look at these policies that fortunately have been updated now by Strauss-Esme. So the goal that I would like to do is possibly have it reviewed by policy committee and at least get it on and maybe approved by November. Okay, so they do give you, they gave us actually, I believe, till next June to try to get it done, but, everything else was good. So it's just these policies, and again, it's, what happened was school boards found out first, so I think they started blaming Strauss-Esme, and it became that kind of a thing. So, and we're stuck in the middle. So, along with lots of other school districts. So, that's where that's at. So I just wanted to make you aware of that too.
Is there anything on the curriculum? No, Carmine's the chair, he's not here. I don't think anything since last time. Negotiations?
Also, the chair, with curriculum, are park scores in? Park scores in?
We're still analyzing them.
Okay.
Off the record, I can say that things are looking pretty good. But again, we want to really focus in and look at those, and actually the state letter for us to share with parents and those kinds of things are all starting to trickle in. So we want to pull it all together so we can do a presentation to the board and then share the information with parents. I'm happy to say that, getting the scores back this year was much earlier than it was last year. I think last year was in December. So by the time we got the scores out from the test the year before, the kids were already getting ready for the next test. So at least they're a little bit much faster. I shouldn't say a little bit, much faster this time. So we will share those as soon as possible. My guess is if we can't get them on for the September 14th, then by the beginning of October, we should have those.
Thank
Get them
you.
out there, okay?
Kim, is there anything you want to add on policy?
We need to set something up. We have a lot to cover.
Yeah, they're, just so you know, looking at the policies that we need for the comprehensive equity plan. Again, it's been done through them, so it's a matter of us going through them and then get through the approvals. But there's quite a bit, there's 12 to 16 of them that need to be looked over, so.
There might be more after I look through the policy book.
Well, I'm saying that's just for the comprehensive
From
equity
yeah.
plan. Then you have the other ones that you really want to, review on our own here. And listening to some of the parents earlier in the meeting, there are some other concerns too. So we can take a good look at the policies. It takes time. It's not easy.
Okay. Correspondence? No. Old business? New business? Okay, we're going to open the meeting to the public. Residents requested to state their names, address, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Anyone wishing to be heard, please go to the podium, state your name and address. Motion to go into open.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thanks, Brian.
My name is Dawn Cholino. I live at 114 Fifth Street. And I just want to bring up, I'm a lunch aide at Franklin School, and I was told this year that we are no longer allowed to work in the same school as our children. So I just like to know why, like who came up with that, and
I had heard that the lunch aides weren't allowed to work in the schools as well. It wasn't something we voted on. I'm not really sure where it started from, but we'll definitely look into it and hopefully by Wednesday have an answer for you. Probably don't. Anyone else? Okay. Motion to close the meeting to the public?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We will now recess to close executive session to discuss personnel contract negotiations and matters covered by the attorney-client privilege for NJSA 1046 et sec, Open Public Meetings Act. The subject matter discussed may be disclosed to the public if and when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Action may be taken when the board reconvenes in open. Motion to go into closed.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming.